Have you ever had a narcissist tell you that you're too emotional? Have you ever have you ever had it said to you that you take things way too personal? Have you ever had someone tell you to just calm down? How does that make you feel? It's insulting to have someone try to tell us how we should feel. And this is very dismissive and it invalidates our feelings. We are entitled to feel how we feel. We are entitled to respond with our feelings. So what gives the narcissist or anyone the right to dictate to us how we should respond to them or any situation? Well, contrary to popular belief, the narcissist, they might be onto something. Perspective is everything. And if you remain open-minded, the narcissist, they can teach you a thing or two about yourself. See, when it comes to dealing with the narcissist, oh, they seem to know how to push your buttons, don't they? But do they really do this to stand against you and deliberately evoke negative feelings from you? Or is it that they are just getting off on seeing us twist in the wind in our emotional tirades? Is that really their motive for pushing our buttons? I'm not so sure. The narcissists, they are crazy makers, and they love their drama as they create it. But they create drama for their own reasons because, well, one reason is they are bored. They need that high from us, that fuel supply, as they need to invoke those feelings from us, because those feelings that we show them, it gives them power. When we seemingly lose it in front of the narcissist, we're not realizing that they are taking our energy as they become empowered by it. By us losing our cool, they in their minds become the cool cats in the situation, as they stay calm, cool, and collected and just observe. And that is how they become self-empowered through our disempowerment. The narcissist can't help themselves. They thrive on our emotional entanglement as they get their kicks from watching us squirm, as they get their jollies and their jingles off of seeing us become unglued at the seams of all things. The narcissist loves to see us crumble, and they will never help us back up and put us together. No, they can easily turn on their heel and simply walk away. The narcissist is guilty for the games that they play, yes, and they get a rush off of seeing us squirm. They are deliberate in their antics and they cause us so much pain. But I'm convinced that the narcissist attacks us with our emotions for a specific motive. It's a way for them to know what needs to be controlled so that they can control that in us. When we are emotionally on point at the beginning of the relationship, oh, we make the narcissist feel accepted. And that is because we are not yet emotionally bonded to them. The narcissist, oh, they still have work to do in the relationship. They have to keep up appearances to win us over. And if they are really good at keeping up appearances, this winning us over, it won't take very long. We soon let our guards down and we find it very easy to love them. We emotionally give in to their deceptive ways, not knowing the deception. And they want us to let our guards down because they cannot keep up appearances for very long. When we finally give in, they can finally detach themselves from their dishonest mask. When we are attached to them, that is when they detach themselves from us. And this is when all emotional heck starts to break loose. When we show the narcissist our emotional side, this is what they want. When we give it to them, then they begin going for the jugular. They use our emotions against us. So let's just see this for what it is, shall we? See, at the beginning of any relationship with the narcissist, they seem very charming and personable, agreeable, and even likable. This is to emotionally set us off balance, to get us to let our guards down. And when the flattering and charming ways pierce the barrier of our hearts, well, we let them in. Their ways seem so genuine at first, but the narcissist, they have to move quick and fast because they don't like to keep this charade going any longer than what they have to. Why? Because they cannot live the lie for very long. They begin to go squirrely, keeping up appearances, living a lie just to trick us into liking them. So when we do give them an in, when we become emotionally vulnerable to them, well, this is when they take advantage. This is what they do best. Their deceptive ways are meant to bring the relationship to this point. They need to take advantage of us to gain quick entry because they need our emotions to feed off of. Why? When we become emotionally attached to the narcissist, this for them allows them to slip back into being who they truly are. The way they are with us at the beginning is the deception. This deception is meant to trick us into believing that they are just like us. They have to do this because they are not like us. When we give in to our emotions and allow the narcissist to become entangled with us energetically, it sends a signal to the narcissist that they have their in. And now they can finally let their guard down. That superficial deceptive guard, that guard that protects their heart, as they use deception to keep us from seeing their heart as it truly is, black as stone. When we become attached, oh, then that deceptive mask slips and the narcissist truly becomes who they are. They fall into being, and we only assume that this true nature is the deceptive nature because we fell for the charm, we fell for the love, that seemingly kind and compassionate human being at the beginning. That is the deception. What we see after we become attached is their true personality. And as uncomfortable as it is to deal with, this is who they truly are. And because we don't realize this, we become emotionally incompatible when the narc changes their behavioral clothing. We become unglued, we become unhinged because it is the confusion of who we thought we fell in love with and the person that they present themselves to be that causes us to question not them, but ourselves and the relationship. We ask ourselves, where did we go wrong? How could we be so blind? And this is only confirmed when the narcissist begins to show us who they are. Gone are the compliments as they are replaced with insults, sarcastic innuendos, and belittling comments. Of course we're going to react, and we have every right to react in the ways that we do. However, there's a better way. And it's important for you to understand that your reaction to the narcissist is normal for you. It's normal to react in the ways that you do when the narcissist pushes you to the edge of your emotions. It is normal and acceptable for you to get upset and argue with the narcissist. However, as normal as your responses are, these normal responses are self-defeating because they do not serve you, nor the situation you find yourself in with the narcissist. And that's because when you get upset or you're triggered with the narcissist, you're expecting conflict resolution. When you are upset, there is an innate nature within you that expects when someone sees how angry and upset, agitated, and irate you are with them, They'll grab that clue and take steps to change their behavior. With a narcissist, they are not in the combat zone with you to resolve anything with you. They don't see their negative behavior as being negative. And because they have no empathy, they cannot see the situation from your perspective that their behavior is perhaps rubbing you the wrong way. They don't see the situation as you do. It isn't that they don't just not want to see it as you do. They are closed off and blinded to seeing the situation in a way that works out any conflict in a healthy way. They literally cannot see what you see. And this is because they do not care for you. They hold no empathy and compassion for you on a selfless level. What empathy and compassion they have remains on the surface in a self-serving, selfish way. The narcissist negatively engages with you for selfish motive. They are looking for a conflict resolution within themselves. And so they take your energetic charge and use it as a booster cable to jumpstart their own self-worth, which leaves you depleted. They dismantle our resolve. They chip away at our emotions by negating our emotions that make us feel good inside, as they systematically bring us to the apex of the conversation where we just cannot take another slight. We can't take another dig, another sarcastic undertone. And we step over the line that holds us to an emotional boundary. And we open the door wide open for them to see us as we expose our vulnerabilities to them. So what can we do? What other option do we have than to give into our growing emotions until we pop like a shaken soda can? What better way is there? Seriously. How can we prevent the narcissist from getting underneath our skin? How can we stop them from pushing our buttons? Because they won't stop until we tell them what they are doing is wrong, and they won't even stop even then. Sometimes we have to get mad in order for them to listen, and then they still won't listen. We have to get mad in order for the narcissist to get their fuel, because when they get their fuel, that is when they stop. No, we don't have to get mad in order for the narcissist to listen, because it's an exercise in futility anyway. The narcissist is listening to you when you are mad, yes, but not in the way that you might think. They're listening to respond. They are not listening to understand you. Communicating with the narcissist is far from easy, and at times it does seem like you are moving in a circular direction, going nowhere. Is there any way to get our point across to them? Is there any way to get a narcissist to see things from our perspective? In a word, no. The narcissist is all about control. You hear me say that all the time, and I'm not going to quit saying it. And for the narcissist to change to suit your needs means that they have to give up control and hand it over to you, and they will not do that. If they were ever to bend towards your direction in the way of empathizing with you in conversation, they wouldn't be a narcissist. Because to do so from a narcissistic perspective means concession. They are conceding to your ways, and that's not in them to do. A lack of empathy is inherent in nature, just as strongly as the need for control is. As much as the narcissist remains in control of their feelings while they witness you lose your shit, there is something more going on than what meets the eye. If you really want to understand the narcissist, then you are going to have to take a look at yourself. And unfortunately, this is the one time where it isn't so obvious that as much as we want to put all the responsibility on the narcissist, to really understand how we can take back our control of the situation with them, we need to understand that it is important to remain in control of ourselves and take responsibility for ourselves. Just as much as it takes two to make a relationship, it does take two to break a relationship. It takes two to fight, and it takes two to make up. The key to taking back your control in the relationship with the narcissist is to take a look at your own behaviors and alter them. Not to suit them, but to alter your behavior and emotions so that they better serve you. So you want the skinny on how to overcome the narcissist trauma bonding? You want to learn how to rid yourself of those undulating push and pull, on again, off again, ruminating thoughts that bring you to your knees in emotional upheaval? You want to learn how you can control any conversation with the narcissist? This video is for you. I'm going to share with you exactly how you do that. But first, I'd like to just take a minute to pause and sideline our conversation for a moment. May I take a break in this video to ask you a question? How are you liking this video so far? How are you liking this channel? Is this conversation making sense to you? Can you relate? Do I resonate with you? If so, then please give this video a like by clicking the thumbs up button that is directly underneath the viewing screen of this video. Can you also do me a favor, for those of you who are watching and don't care for my videos but take the time to watch anyways just to see what I have to say? Please be sure to give it a thumbs down if you want to. Why would I ask you to give it a thumbs down? Well, because it helps me to improve this channel content. I'm here to help. I'm not making these videos for fame and fortune. YouTube seems to be capping my channel as the algorithms do not like to promote this specific content, Christian or anything that challenges the narrative. So I would like to ask for your help. I would like to ask you all to please, if you feel led to do so, subscribe to this channel so that these videos can be better promoted by YouTube algorithms, so that they can be seen by those who really need to see and hear this content. Your help is appreciated as we are all in this together. And I appreciate your feedback, so please just leave a comment, or if you would like to speak privately, as you may need someone to talk to, please use my email and I will get back to you in a timely manner. Okay, so let's get back to this video. If you want to know how you can better communicate with a narcissist, and you want to know how you can stop the narcissist from controlling your thoughts and your triggers, well, then this video is for you. Because there is a way. And it may seem simple, but I'm here to tell you that this is anything but simple. It takes practice, it takes work, it takes dedication, and it takes mindfulness. As this method is easier to practice when you start taking responsibility for what you can do in the relationship with a narcissist by being an active participant and proactive in your own healing. By taking responsibility for yourself, by holding yourself in obligation to yourself, then you begin to see how you can effectively take back control. By taking the control of the relationship out of the hands of the narcissist. In a healthy relationship, there is a healthy balance of compromise, of give and take. There is a meeting of the minds that allows us to not see opposition, but to see opportunity. We allow each other the room to grow within the confines of the relationship, and this allows us the freedom to build the relationship together in harmony and change for the better. We are united, but with a narcissistic relationship, there is never a balance, there is never unity, and there is no compromise. There is no give and take, and there's no equality. You give, the narcissist takes, and that's it. And there is no meeting of the minds. The narcissist sees you as their opposition, as they view you as competition. They do not allow you to grow, as they do not grow themselves. They create discord in a relationship that causes disharmony and singularity. You want a harmonious relationship. The narcissist doesn't. You actually compromise yourself in a relationship with the narcissist, as you believe that they will compromise themselves in a healthy way too, but they don't. Where the narcissist is concerned, there is only take, as the narcissist holds only concern for themselves. They believe it is your job to give and give and give and give and give some more. And they take what you give freely. They take advantage. They only give to you so that you will give to them some more. They use coercion and guilt trips to manipulate you into giving your all to them. And when you are in a relationship with a narcissist, you are not in a relationship. As relationship implies that you relate to one another. Instead, with the narcissist, you become attached to them in the form of dependence, and this is what they want. The narcissist, well, they unknowingly want, of course, a situation between the two of you where they are the dominant aggressor and you are the dependent submissive. Now, this dynamic creates the childhood narrative that they endured with their parental home, in their parental home. This dynamic between the two of you has you enmeshed with them in a way where you are reliant on them to the point that you give up control over yourself to allow them full disclosure over how they want you to be. It is as if they are recreating in you the individual that their parents wanted them to be, but they could not conform. And you do not conform to the narcissist's will. You buck the system just as they did in their youth, and they bring down punishment on you as they would have felt when they were young. The narcissist recreates scenarios to relive out their trauma, to try to place the trauma onto you in attempts to let go of it. They can dismiss it, but they can't forget. In attempts to manipulate you into a relationship, let them assume that you are a willing participant in their escapist strategy. Enmeshment is a term used to describe where the terms and the boundaries of a relationship are unclear. And let me say that to us, those who are the narcissist targets, the boundaries are unclear. The rules of the relationship are ambiguous, as the narcissist intends them to be that way, because the narcissist has no boundaries themselves and they do not recognize any within us either. So when you try to evaluate the terms of the relationship, or you try to install, reinstate, or hold to your boundaries, this is where the narcissist seizes the opportunity for control through gaslighting, projection, deflection, devaluing, all in attempts to set you off balance, to get you to stop trying to set the terms of what you two have together, because the narcissist is in control, not you. Boundaries that you hold yourself up to are a form of control. And when you understand the rules and regulations a narcissist has to keep then you can better do what you need to do to untangle yourself from the narcissist grip. You can set yourself free from the mind hold and emotional control of the narcissist. When you understand the behavioral mechanics within narcissism, the better you are able to do what they do. Detach yourself. That is why a narcissist will never beholden themselves to you. This is why the narcissist will never devote themselves to you in the way that is wholesome and healthy and pure, full of empathy. Because empathy allows for attachment. Empathy allows for vulnerability. Empathy allows for exposure that entrusts one's heart with the heart of another. Empathy attaches us to each other in like-mindedness, but apathy detaches us and holds us separate in our own individuality and does not allow us to conform or come together in unity as one, as a team. This is extremely important to understand because those of us who have been through the narcissistic trauma roller coaster merry-go-round have a tendency to believe that we can better control the situation and the narcissist in the next narcissistic relationship we get into. We forget that all narcissists lack empathy, and they lack empathy where it counts. Understanding this, that empathy is the main ingredient to form wholesome relationships, you will be better equipped to understand that a narcissist through apathy remains detached to you. And this is how you get yourself out of the narcissistic parasitic grip. You do what they do, yet detach yourself from them. But this is not so easily done. Detachment is a form of letting go as you allow yourself to see the narcissist in an objective manner. To remain objective is to hold no emotion towards the narcissist whatsoever. Objectivity is easier to achieve when you understand that the narcissist is just being who they are towards you. They are like the scorpion or the snake that carries that frog across the pond in that Aesop's parable. They cannot help but sting or bite you because this is what they naturally do. They are natural-born predators and they make no distinction between their prey. A mouse or a rabbit, it makes no difference to them. The law that they live by is instinctual, to kill or be killed. And a narcissist lives by that same instinct, to control or be controlled. When you begin to discern that the narcissist's ways are harmful towards you, you then can better detach, as this is a form of self-preservation, as this is not a coping mechanism, but a safety skill set that becomes a part of you once you learn to understand that the benefits of detachment as it goes along with boundary keeping. As how it was explained to me, as God shared with me some very deep, important detail when I became triggered by a narcissist. See, a few weeks ago when I did the video on my personal traumatic childhood injury and abuse, I was triggered. And I walked away from that situation so angry. I was so frustrated as I had emotional memory call up inside of me that I thought I dealt with. And I could not let go of this negative energy. I distracted myself. I went for walks. I did cooking. I did exercising. I did reading. I watched YouTube videos. I binged on YouTube videos. There was nothing that I could do to get rid of this negative energy. I even tried to get into meditation. So I asked God what was going on, and He gave me such depth of insight that as soon as I got this, within 10 minutes of God speaking, the negative energy was gone. So I hope that you find this insight encouraging and beneficial in your own healing. God explained to me in great detail that there is a reason why we are triggered, and it's not just because we feel that we are not being heard. And it isn't just because we feel like we are being dismissed and we just don't matter. Being triggered has more to do with us than it does the narcissist. Triggering is not just a coping mechanism, it's a defense mechanism. See, triggering comes from a place of fear. A fear that says, hey guy, or hey girl, I matter just as much as you do. I have needs and I need you to respect those needs. I need you to adhere to those boundaries. Or I need you to listen to understand. Fear also comes from a deeper place inside of us, in our trigger points, uprooting the point of contact to expose us to the narcissist. When really triggering is meant to expose us to ourselves in front of the narcissist, as God uses the narcissist to get us to see our wayward behavior within ourselves. You know that a narcissist is all about control. And when we are triggered, it causes us to lose control of our thoughts in the given situation. And we give up control over our emotions and just hand them over to the narcissist. God said this to me, that with unhealed trauma, there is a need within that trauma to remain in control. With traumatic events, we have been exposed to vulnerabilities that allowed us to become emotionally or physically hurt. The coping strategies placed a fear within us to help us steer clear away from any potential harm in that capacity in other situations we find ourselves in. So within that fear, there was a baseline of control. We used fear to help us to remain in control in situations, as fear allowed us to stay away from situations that would have us repeat patterns of abuse. So when we are triggered in front of the narcissist, that's what's going on. Oftentimes, it's not just a lack of communication that has us walking away frustrated and angry. No, it's also because we are giving up control in the moment to our own innate fear that was used to control us for so long, as fear remains as a memory attached to an event that initially caused us trauma. We give our emotional power to our fear, and it is projected onto the narcissist. It's used as a means of protection, a shield that keeps us safe from any potential enemies or harmful situations. But we're not aware of this, so when we're triggered because the narcissist creates an environment that historically our fear is attached to, but we can't recognize it. And because we can't recognize it, we project that fear onto the narcissist, creating in ourselves a false sense of belief that it's the narcissist's fault. The narcissist, they fear being controlled, and so do we. The narcissist tries to control us so that they will never be placed in a position of vulnerability ever again that controls them. And we try to control the narcissist by retreating into our fear that we have used to control us. By giving into the trigger, we assume that our anger and frustration is taking back control when it's not. In reality, it's giving up our emotional control. There is a saying that goes like this: the more you try to control someone or something, the more out of control someone or something becomes. This is so very true when we try to control our narrative in any argument with the narcissist. So God then said this to me in dissecting this a little further. It's important to know who we are. We have to remember who we are, because when we do not know who we are, the more vulnerable we are to the narcissist. When we are trauma bound to the narcissist, we are attached to them in unhealthy ways, and our identity then becomes rooted in the narcissist's approval. When we seek our identity in Jesus, we then begin to learn something about ourselves. See, Jesus is in you. The same power that raised Jesus from death to life is in you. This power is love, and this love cannot be created or destroyed. It is the breath of life that comes from our Father in heaven, who is Spirit, who is also known as the Almighty I Am. We are sons and daughters of the I Am, as we are to become brides of Christ. Knowing this, do you believe it? Well, we may know it, but we do not believe it, because if we did, we would act in this belief. And God said this to me also, that if I know I am God's daughter, who then am I? If I were to ask you that same question, how would you begin answering that sentence? I am. Say that to yourself. I am. Now say this. Who did God say he was to Moses? I am all that I am. This is why it's important to know who you are, because your identity can always be found in him. I am. Who did Jesus say he was? He also said 7 times, I am. Before Abraham was born, I am. John 8:56. Jesus describes to his disciples what I am means. I am the bread of life. I am the light of the world. I am the door of the sheep. I am the good shepherd. I am the resurrection and the life. I am the way, the truth, and the life. I am the true vine. And we belong to the vine, as we are the branches, meaning that we are one with the vine if we follow in his ways. So God then said this to me, that because I am God's daughter, as we are to become the bride of Christ, what happens when a groom comes together with the bride? They become one. We are to become one in spirit with our groomsmen, Jesus, who is one with God our Father. We are one with the everlasting I am. So what does that say? We can also call ourselves I am. Although we are one with the Almighty I Am, we are the lesser. Nevertheless, we are still I am. So when you say to yourself, I am not worthy, please take into account of what you are really saying. You are saying something negative against the Almighty I Am, your Father, your Savior, who lives in you. And he who lives in you has made you one with him. By saying, I am not worthy, you make yourself unworthy. By saying, I am nothing, you make yourself nothing. By saying, I am stupid, you make yourself stupid. By agreeing to the narcissist about who they think you are, you become who they say you are, as you unite your belief with their falsehoods, and you deny the I am potential that is already in you. You say you believe in God, then you have to believe in yourself. You cannot believe in God and deny yourself. If you believe in God, you have no choice but to believe in yourself. Oh, you can deny yourself all day long. You are not making yourself obsolete, but you instead are denying your limitless potential in the I am, because you are denying yourself and you are denying God. When you deny your own worthiness, you are denying God's worthiness in you. When God said to me, "You are a part of who I am. You are I am," suddenly things just made sense. Our quest in life is to seek out the character of God and to allow his ways to become our ways. To live out the character of God is to live according to the Spirit. 1 Corinthians chapter 13, verses 4 through 8. Love is patient, love is kind, it is not rude, it does not boast, it keeps no record of wrongs, it's not self-seeking, it does not delight in evil, but rejoices with the truth, it always hopes, always trusts, always protects. Love never fails. This is who is in you. This is the definition of love, and this is the character of the Almighty I Am that is in you. You are love. Love is in your heart, so Jesus cannot be denied. This is who you are. You have love in you. As you were made in love, for love, through love, as you are the state of being, as you are to be the state of being of love, just like Jesus. You are love. If you were living out the fullness of love and your body were stripped away and all you saw was a spirit, you would be identifiable by the same light that is Jesus. Love in its purest form is light, and Jesus is light. In him there is no darkness, and we are told by Jesus himself that we are to be the light of the world. We are the lamp. So we are a beacon of light also. So you are love. There's no denying that. This love cannot be forgotten. This love can be forgotten, but it cannot be destroyed. It always is. Knowing this, God then began to show me the error of my ways when triggered in front of a narcissist. Think of the confrontation you have with the narcissist as a battle zone. Think of the narcissist as your enemy, because that is who they are. They are not a part of the I am. They are I am not. And this is all lowercase letters. The narcissist wants to be like God, and so they set you up to serve them like God. They want you to identify with them as they try to take the identity of the I am in you that you relate to and displace that with cognitive dissonance to cause you to forget, to cause you to a confusion of your mind. Now, this is not God's way, as this is not of God. God says he does not give us a spirit of fear, but one of sound mind. We are to test the spirits to see if they are of God, and anybody who causes you confusion and tries to take away the invincible I am that is in you is not a godly person. The narcissist is our enemy, and the narcissist tries to create in us an enemy to love that resides within. The narcissist wants us to wage war with the I am that is in us, where we find our identity. As the enemy wants us to denounce our identity that is rooted in the I am and cannot be taken out of the I am equation. We are who we are. We are one with the I am. This will forever be for eternity. This is just coming to me now. I haven't thought of this on this level before. This is new insight, so thank you, Jesus. This is powerful stuff. I hope you are understanding this. So when you are triggered, it says that you do not know who you are. And that's okay. And triggering says that you are fighting the control of the narcissist. Can God be controlled? No. Can love be controlled? No. Can love cease to exist? No. See, when we fight and argue with the narcissist, it's our fear in us that is saying to their fear, you cannot control me. Because fear leads us to believe we are able to be controlled by the narcissist. We fear that we will become just like them, or that we will lose our identity in some way. Our egos fight to stay autonomous. Our egos do not want to assimilate with the narcissist. And it's our spiritual natures that know that we cannot. But the ego doesn't know this, as the ego doesn't pay attention to the spirit. The ego is rooted in individuality. The ego is rooted in individuality. The Spirit of God is rooted in oneness, unity. The Spirit of God, which is all of us who love God, who share our identity with I am, share our identity with each other. We are a part of the collective of I am. The narcissist is not. Ooh, this is just coming to me. Ooh. See, what God said to me when I was triggered is that my ego is the one that fights to stay as a nonconformist, as it should. However, it is fighting for the wrong reasons because it doesn't know who the I am is. The ego is rooted in fear. And I am not living in the knowledge and power of I am when I'm triggered. I am still thinking in my ego that I am one, that I am Shannon. I am female, born to earthly parents who I no longer associate with. I am on my own, searching to find my identity my own way in Jesus, however that may be. And my ego says, well, you were lost, but now you're found through Bible scripture and through your belief in him. But I have never been lost. That's the deceitful part in all of this. I have never been lost, so I don't need to be found. I just believed I was lost. I have always been, as you have always been, a part of I am. I and you just need to remember who we are. That we are I am. When you remember who you are, that you are a child of God, you don't need to fight the narcissist, because when you're fighting the narcissist, when you're triggered, that's your ego. You don't need to battle the narcissist anymore, as it is the fear of the unknown rooted in the ego that allows a trigger to happen, as it is that trigger that engages in the battle of control. Then now this got me thinking. God does not control me. He allows me to be who I need or want to be. So because I am love, there's natural things about me that cannot be taken out of me, that I can't lose. And I do act in the ways of love. I don't need to fight the narcissists because they are being who they are, and I don't want to change them because I know that they can't change. And now that I know what I am is and what love is, I know I cannot change. The narcissist can't change me, so how should I be triggered? God said this, that when I am triggered and I fight with the narcissist, it is because I fear change. I fear changing into the narcissist, but I can't change because I am one with the unchangeable I am. So really, should there be any fight with the narcissist? No. God doesn't fight with us. He knows who we are. We do not fight with God. Well, sometimes we do. But God is patient with us in his quietness and patiently waits for us to conform to his ways. If we do not, he does not beg and plead, and he doesn't trigger. And he doesn't berate us and rake us over the coals. He doesn't follow us around and judge us either. When we step away from him and we go in our own direction, he allows us to do this. It is when we are ready to change our ways to suit him, we then turn away from our wrongs and we walk or we run in the direction where Jesus can be found. The point I'm trying to make is we always have our empathy to fall back on. The narcissist doesn't. A narcissist cannot change. And we make mistakes so that we can see our empathy for what it is, so that we can appreciate it all that much more. The narcissist is on a separate path than us, and we who are love should walk in love. We do not need to fight to be heard. We just allow the narcissist, or anyone for that matter, to be who they want to be. If they want to be with us, they will change their ways to suit the ways of unconditional love. How they discover love is the same way that we have. Follow the ways of Jesus. So, God then shared this with me. Now, my trigger was because I was resisting an evil person. I was resisting their ways because I assumed that if I gave in, then they would gain control over me and control me. But how could they? Because I am, that is in me, cannot be controlled. I am a part of the unchangeable I am. And so no one can control me because I am love. And that is how love covers all wrongs. Now, when I am faced with challenging situations with a narcissist, there is no need to prove to them that they are wrong. They can be right. They can believe that they are right. It's okay. There is no need to challenge their intellect or their behavior. They are allowed to be who they need to be, and I will be who I am. And this is where detachment comes in. This video is coming full circle as we talked about detachment at the beginning. When you understand who you are and who the narcissist is, you then can detach yourself from them and the relationship and lend yourself to healing. When you detach and separate yourself from the narcissist, you stop allowing yourself to become identified with their ways, their rules and regulations, and this has an automatic healing effect. When you practice detachment, the narcissist then stops trying to control you and begins to separate themselves from you in a way where they no longer manipulate to control you to get you to conform to their ways. Your detachment of them offers them no prize. So you are no longer any use to them, and they will simply just leave you alone. Even when the narcissist is living in your own household. When you become detached by knowing your worth, you will find that you still love the narcissist, but no longer are enmeshed with them, as your identity is no longer driven by their acceptance or admonishment of you. Detaching yourself from others allows you to discover your worth in Jesus and allows you to finally have a lifelong relationship with him as you get to know yourself. Once you are satisfied with who you are, you then will discover your spiritual tribe who are like-minded and one with you. It is often assumed that the narcissist is mindfully aware of the things that they do against us. I'm not so convinced, my friends. When one does not care, they are not mindfully aware. It's just that simple. The narcissist is able to cheat and manipulate us so easily because they are not attached in the relationship. They are instead detached, as they are not mindful of this, as they are not mindful of us, as their feelings are not focused on the greater good of the relationship as being a team player, but instead their feelings are detached, as they are always their sole focus in everything they do. Detachment means that you don't care, in the way of you are no longer bothered by what the narcissist does. For the narcissist to become attached is a liability. The narcissist does not have the mindful awareness within them to become attached to anyone. Instead, they live in the opposite of attachment, which is detachment. That's their innate nature. Their feelings are detached, and this is why they come across as dismissive and why they can so easily discard and devalue us. They do not care. They have no emotional interest in us, and this is something we can learn from them so we can learn to let them go. It is important that we practice detachment with the narcissist so that we can heal and move on. Practicing detachment is not as difficult as it sounds. It just means knowing who you are and not allowing the judgments, perceptions, or opinions of others to take you away from being who you are. The narcissist is only triggered when we do not do what they want us to do or be who they want us to be. They are not triggered like we are. They are triggered because they cannot control us. We are triggered because we fear losing control or giving up control of ourselves to the narcissist and be in a position of vulnerability that perhaps allows us to get hurt again. The narcissist tries to take from us what can only be shared: empathy. The empathy within us we freely share, and in sharing we give someone else the opportunity to have partial responsibility, but never do we give up our ownership of ourselves. The narcissist wants that ownership and will be triggered into a response when we do not give them what they want. Detachment happens when you begin to see the innate nature within you as opposed to the innate nature within the narcissist. They are who they are, and you are who you are. We are two opposites of the same coin, and we cannot change each other. We bring out the worst in each other, but in bringing out the worst in you, you are made to observe your own behavior so that you can change towards being the state of being of love. When you look at your triggers and you turn to focus inwardly and begin to appreciate yourself and grow to love yourself, you will not need the love of the narcissist or anyone to feel whole and complete. And here's the caveat: you are already whole and complete. It just takes the narcissist to find that out for yourself. Why is that? Have you ever noticed that when things are given to you, they have less meaning than the things that you have to earn? When you earn your self-awareness, it becomes a treasure to you. When you have to dig in deep and unpack that trauma that leads to self-mastery and self-discovery, you then become your own treasure that you protect because you value what you have found. You treasure your worth, and that makes you unstoppable with limitless potential. That makes you powerful and more powerful than the narcissist. When you discover who you are within the invincible I am, you tap into kingdom power, my friend, to never lean on or rely on anyone ever again. And that has more applications, supernatural applications, more than what you realize. And let me say this, they don't have to have eyes to see in order to know. They know who they are. That's why they need you to help them forget. They are ungodly, as their souls are obscure. To be obscure means to keep from being seen as it remains hidden. It also means to be uncertain. The narcissist wants to trade places with us spiritually without doing the inner work. So they try to rob us of our light. And what we give to them, it truly is like throwing our pearl before swine, because they don't know what to do with that light, because they do not understand the light. Someone who doesn't understand can be dangerous when you yourself do not understand what they are doing in their motives and you don't understand yourself. But now in this video, now you do. And so now the narcissist is no longer a danger to you. You no longer are a danger to yourself. You no longer have to fear the narcissist because you no longer have to fear that they can take away your identity, because your identity has always been rooted in eternity, in the invincible, unchangeable I am. I hope that this video has helped to set you free. I know when God shared this with me, I was put in a position to put this information into immediate practice. So God does things like that. So look out. With this understanding will come practical application. It may take a few go-rounds to be triggered. I know it did for me. As I said before, I wasn't just triggered once or twice or 3 times, but 4 times a trigger. And each time, I became more mindfully aware of my power in the invincible I am. I became more childlike in heart, as that is now my focus, to allow myself to be more empowered in my own innate abilities within self-love. Practicing detachment allows you to make you your own focus, not in selfish ambition, but to become your best so that you can shine the love of God to those who need to see his love. The world needs you, and the world needs him. And you were made to live in love. You were made from love. You deserve love, and the only way to bring love to you is to be a powerful, loving force for yourself. So go be that person whom you want to love you. Thanks for watching. My name is Shannon Gilmore. Be blessed.